What's going on, everybody? We're back with the weekly walk-off after a one-week Memorial Day hiatus. It's Nate and I today, excited to jump back into things. Let's go. Nate has some lineups that are hot. I have some pretty solid lineups. We're going to break everything down for game week 19, but also, of course, take a look at a preview for game week 20 and 21. You guys, we're a third of the way through the MLB season, believe it or not. We will talk a little bit just about baseball in general up front before we get into Sorare. Talk about some of the stuff that's surprising us, some of the stat leaders so far, and particularly the ones that we care about most for Sorare. Stuff like K per nine, innings pitched, home runs, RBIs, and that kind of thing. So, Nate, what's up, man?
How are you doing? It's good to be back. Little hiatus for both of us, some time away, some vacation, but yeah, good to be talking baseball again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Welcome to everyone in the chat, too. Thanks for all being here. C123, Wizard of Fire, John Riley, Miguel. What's up? What's up? We'll do a giveaway here later on, too. To be honest with you, I haven't really decided the giveaway. So if you have any, like maybe pitching options that you guys like, maybe some streaming options for the upcoming week. Dean Kramer was one that I had in mind. He's still around like the $3 range. Help me out. $5 budget. Throw it in the chat. Let me know. All right. So let's take a look, I guess, to start it off. Let's take a look at the standings like we usually do and just kind of, I guess, break down some of the biggest surprises that we've seen so far in the upcoming year. Maybe we started off with the American League.
Yeah,
I mean, the Rangers obviously like Sorare relevant and just baseball relevant in general, up at the top of the AL West with the 143 run differential is incredible.
Yeah, they're in a category of their own right now. They're the exact inverse of Oakland, right? It's the team that you want exposure to offensively, same as Oakland's the team that you want to make sure you've got guys going against. But it's the deepest stack you can possibly do in Sorare right now, I think, where there's certain teams where you stack and you have to stretch a little bit on the fourth and fifth guys. With Texas, not so.
Yeah, I mean, Texas's main stack, right? I mean, Semien has been undoubtedly, a top 5 Sorare MLB player. Yep. Seager back after injury, he's looked amazing. Josh Young, Adolis. Who else do we got? I mean, even guys like Robbie Grossman, like coming in with some major point weeks.
Nathaniel Lowe, Jonah Heim.
Exactly.
Yeah. Semien, for the record, is the number 3 hitter in Sorare across the season.
Unbelievable. What a awesome like scout early season on by you on that one, man. Like to be honest with you, like I didn't put them in priority lineups, and I think that's just the lesson learned. Like when they're hot, you just play them and you stack them, and it doesn't matter if you have Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller, like they're gonna get their runs. I think they got them like most of their points off of Marco Gonzalez this weekend, but they destroyed. I didn't pay too closely of attention today, but I think they took care of Bryce Miller also in Texas. So.
Oh yeah, they had a big game, and I like what you just said. I think that at this point, I've got enough cards where I'm struggling to decide with like I've got that Texas stack. I've got Semien, Seager, Garcia, and Nathaniel Lowe, and they're all good plays. And so am I putting 2 of them in the pro lineup along with Freddie Freeman and Jordan, or am I just stacking that every game week? And it's become a much more difficult decision now that I have those options. So it's a hard thing when you have guys that you can either isolate and put in your best lineup, or you just keep that team together.
Exactly. Throw it in the chat. We got some suggestions for the giveaway. I do like that Braxton Garrett, John. That's a nice one right there. Throw in the chat who have been your big guys for this season too. We want to see like what your biggest stacks have been and who's been killing it for you. I've had some good ones too. I don't quite have the whole Texas Rangers stack, but I definitely have Lowe, Seager. And I was telling you earlier, Nate, like if I would have started them over, I have a ton of mini stacks, right? Like I have Bo Bichette and Vladdy. Mm-hmm. I have Alonso and Lindor, right? If it's Lowe and Seager, in my number one priority lineup this week instead of Pete and Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 performance. Like,
Yep.
that's how crazy it is.
Yeah. And if I hadn't spread all my Rangers across my lineups for a various number of reasons, if I just put them all in one lineup, I'm scoring big right now in one contest instead of having 3 like pretty good lineups.
No doubt. No doubt. What else has been a surprise on the year? I mean, like, take a look at the top at the AL East, right? I mean, above 500, your Sox over here in
Yep.
last place by 11 games. The Rays have just been absolutely incredible this year. 122 run differential, probably the second in the league to the Rangers is what I was thinking. And yeah, the Rangers, that just even more testament to the Rangers. They're just blowing people out.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be a tight race all the way through in the AL East. That's going to be a ton of fun to watch. I mean, we have a couple other division races that are looking really solid too. Both of the Centrals are, not super like stacked, but pretty even across the board.
Definitely.
Go for it.
No, I was going to say something about the NL. So if you still got something in the AL, go for it.
I was going to say we can talk about this a little bit later on, but some of the value buys maybe on the marketplace. I wanted to take a look at that later. The Minnesota Twins. I mean, they led the league in home runs last year. They're looking really solid this year too. I know there's a couple people out there in the chats that are Twins guys and like to stack the Twins. They're up at the top of that division, but not only that, like Johan Duran is insane. That guy, I posted in the Discord. I picked up 2 of his limited cards for $6. I think it's up to 10 now. And I started both of him, and he only got the 1 save, but it was I think a 5-inning save on Friday night. And
you say 5 inning or 5 out?
Sorry, 5 out, 5
okay.
out save. Yeah, 5 out save. And my only concern with him is that his arm might literally fall off from throwing 104 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Like every single pitch. So
there's the other guy that just came up too, right? That he's thrown like 23 pitches so far, and not one of them has been under 100 miles an hour. So on the Angels, or I forget, somebody's gonna call it out in the chat. I know it.
Angels, that sounds about right. Let me see here. From the last stream, took your guys' advice and got India and Steer one first limited reward and had them in the Sandlot and placing in there. Nice, Miguel.
Nice.
That's good stuff. Steers look nice, man. Like,
yep.
Unfortunately, I've had a couple of bad moves in selling rewards too early this year. Which, if you're able to get liquid and turn it into something else, great. One of them I turned into Harrison Bader, who got injured again, but he was pretty electric when we did have him. But Spencer Steer was one of those guys. I sold him and Noda probably a little bit too early. But yeah, let's move on into the NL. Biggest surprises here.
Spencer Steer is actually the number 3 hitter in Sorare over the last 15 days.
John Riley's got you. Ben Joyce.
That's who it is.
That's the Tennessee. He's from Tennessee, right?
I don't remember.
And he is on the Angels. I think he was the guy that was throwing 100 miles an hour in college like crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Steer picked up at 670, and now he's $21. Yep. I won't even say what I sold his rare for. Shame on me.
It happens. It's really tough. I've done a combination of keeping prizes and selling prizes, and it all just comes down to what you think is going to happen with that player. I kept my Nathaniel low. He stayed around the same. I held on to my Jared Kelenic, and he's gone down. I sold my Mullins right when I got it, and that was a good sell. I sold my Lewis Robert right when I got it, and that was a good sell. So it goes in different directions, and it really just comes down to, is it a guy that you want to have to use for a while? So that's the beauty of having the ongoing utility, is that even if they go down a little bit in the short term, if it's a guy that you want, like Nathaniel Lowe, I knew I was going to keep working towards that Texas stack. It made sense to hold on to him regardless of what happened.
That's a really good point when it comes to strategy. I will say there was a really good point made in the Discord this week. I don't know if you were part of that conversation, but it was Crypto Poppy talking about Teoscar Hernandez. And he said basically, like, and I don't know why my brain goes to, if you win a Teoscar reward, like sell him versus not selling him, or play him versus not playing him. But just strategy wise in general, like he's a streaky player, right? So when he's hot, you need him in your lineup. But like when he's cold, you can bench him and not have to worry about him hitting a home run in a game. Like if you're going to miss out, you're not going to miss out a ton,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you know he's starting to heat up and he's clicking, then that's when you enter him into the next lineup, because he's going to keep it rolling, as opposed to, having that consistent game. Like benching him, you're not missing out a ton, is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. At this point, the way that I'm looking at my collection, and I think I'm somewhere around 60 limited cards right now. I think that somewhere right around 50 limited cards is a pretty good sweet spot in terms of being able to. It's maybe a little bit shy of fully competing in all 4 limited contests, but
Yep.
it allows me to think about, okay, is this a guy that is going to be in one of those top 2 lineups, pro and all-star, usually how I do it, or is it a stack that I'm working on? And I'll usually put those in the AL only or the NL only. So if it's not fitting into one of those 2 categories, I'm probably liquidating it just for the sake of buying something that fits my game plan, not necessarily because I don't like that guy, but because I just don't have enough of the pieces around him for him to make sense in a stack, or if I know that he's just going to get buried on the depth chart on my bigger lineup anyway.
For sure. That's a good point. 50 is a good number. You're right. I don't think it's quite enough to, you know what? It may be enough to enter all the competitions,
It's enough
depending
to enter, but I
depending
don't know
on
if it's
what you
enough to be
have.
competitive.
Exactly. It's depending on what you have. And for me, it's definitely not enough when you're entering rare competitions with the
Right.
blended as well. That's changing up this week.
Mm-hmm.
Something important to note, like you're not able to enter the limited cards into the rare AL and NL anymore going forward after game week 23, I want to say. So a couple of more weeks, and correct me if I'm wrong on that in the chat. But, for me right now, wanting to win rare rewards, right, and using those studs in my rare blended lineups, 50 may not be enough at that point, but when it goes back down, the limiteds will get more competitive because of that reason. The rares will be more competitive because of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be interesting to see how that all changes up. Brennan had brought up the NL Central. Brewers at the top with a negative 19 run differential, and the Cardinals at the bottom with a positive 3. That is just 25 and 35, terrible record. Don't count them out yet. They're not dead down there. I know there's a lot of Cardinals fans in the Discord. But what a wacky division so far.
Yeah. A lot of mediocrity in there so far, and plenty of potential. Like there's still, there's good teams in there, but just have not been performing. I think any one of them could still win that division with, easily. Just one good run and can flip the whole script on it.
Yep. Did we have a crazy good start from Hunter Green recently?
Yeah, against the Red Sox.
Oh, my bad. Yep.
Yeah, that's all good.
You probably remember the stat line better than I do. What did that look like? 12 Ks, 11?
Was this 2 days ago? I'll pull it up here.
But it's fun to see him do well. I won him as a tier 3 reward. That's pretty cool. I was happy with that. Graham Ashcraft is getting shelled lately. Have put up a negative 13 this week after just back-to-back like bad weeks. So
yeah,
hopefully he can come around. The Reds have been pretty fun to watch. The Pirates went on a skid. Cubs, Cardinals, mediocre. Brewers need to get it together too. Yeah, just definitely a lot of mediocrity down in the West. The Miami Marlins are in second in that division too, and the Philadelphia Phillies just looking terrible.
If you want the Hunter Green line, it was actually the biggest game was against Chicago. Well, really, his last 4 starts have all been pretty interesting. So four starts ago against Colorado, he got shelled, 4 innings, 6 runs, but he had 8 strikeouts. Next time out against the Yankees, 7 innings, 4 runs, 10 strikeouts. Then against the Cubs, 6 innings, no runs, 11 Ks. That's probably the one you were referring to. And then last time out a few days ago against Boston, 6 innings, 1 run, 8 Ks. So Seems like he's finding something. Those are some nasty K numbers over the last 4.
Yeah, looking solid. Um, Diamondbacks and Dodgers tied in the West with the
Diamondbacks
Giants
are
in
the story,
third.
man. They're the story there. That's who I was gonna bring up. Like such an exciting offense, and obviously some good pitching on that staff too. Not great pitching, but Zach Gallen and that you know Corbin Carroll supposed to be this stud, and he's showing games like that. It doesn't always happen right away, but that's a fun team to watch. Christian Walker, Ketel Marte, even Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has been a monster lately. So that's been a fun team to watch.
They can hit for sure. I saw Corbin Carroll oppo home run off of Soroka today.
He can hoop.
They're electric, man. I hate to say it. We'll see. We'll see how long they can sustain it with that pitching. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see. But Hunter Green is hurt now. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Won't make his next start against the Cardinals while he deals with hip stiffness.
Okay. Hip stiffness.
Not a major concern.
Okay. Cool. Houston pitching has been solid, definitely.
Yep.
Best team to stack depends on the week for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
but throw any of the high scoring run production teams out there. I mean, hitter friendly ballparks. I don't know. It really truly depends on the week, and we can get into game week 20 in just a little bit here, but we talk about those every time that we're on the show here. So anything else in the NL? Nope.
I don't think so.
Let's take a look at let's just pop really quickly into the weekly walk-off standings, and here we go. Doing pretty well up against you and Greg. You guys are close. Still a lot of season left.
You're pulling away a little bit here.
What's that?
You're pulling away a little bit.
Just a little bit, but I mean, you guys got guys that should be coming around. I mean, like your Mets and Padres should come around. You would hope that the Phillies come around just a little bit. Who else does Greg have that should be kind of pulling a little bit through? I mean, he's got the Dodgers, Rays, Sox, Marlins,
Guardians.
Teams keeping him afloat, but just the A's just dragging him way down there.
Yep.
So this has been fun. We'll stay updated with this as when Greg joins us on the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then just some quick, I thought it would be cool to take a look at just stats going into the year. And I know you're tracking. I haven't done this yet, but I definitely want to. The ESPN Fantasy League where you score them, rank them. Mm-hmm. Just like as a quick, like when I was scouting over the summer, this is basically what I would do. I would go into the stats from last year, trying to take a look at projected stats from this year. And just generally before I even like dove fully into all of the scoring stuff, I was looking at OPS, I was looking at slugging, home runs, RBIs, obviously stuff like that. And then, in pitching, K per 9 rate. So I think a third of the season through, I mean, Aaron Judge looking good. He's leading the league in OPS and slugging. With 19 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
That's I love that because I drafted him third overall in my fantasy baseball league, and I got shit from it from somebody in Discord on the Sorare MLB Discord, like, oh yeah, Aaron Judge isn't gonna be, a good fantasy player this year in the categories league. You should have gone with like, I don't know, Kyle Tucker or something.
That's a rough take, but I just saw the stats of his first X number of games through last season and this season, and they're practically identical. It's like almost the exact same start from last year.
Really?
Yep. Home runs, RBIs, his batting average is a little bit up. Or maybe no, you know what it is? I think it's his OBP is a little bit up with some extra walks, but yeah, he's off to an identical start to last year. Scary.
Yeah, amazing, man. And he was been injured a little bit. I don't know if he had any of an injury stint last year. Another thing too, I mean, we've talked about him on the show before, but Luis Arias, 392, and we are 2 months into the season. I think John Boy Talking Baseball put that out. Like that needs to be talked about just a little bit more. He's hitting 392, and we are in June. After winning a batting title.
I think it begs the question if having these new rules with no shift if we will see someone hit 400 in a season. It becomes more possible. It still obviously takes somebody to do something crazy, but that's what Arise is doing right now. So it would be absurd, but so is what Judge did last year, and
Yep.
that's kind of what it's all about.
Freddie Freeman's behind him with 336. And I mean, you had mentioned earlier, like Spencer Steers number 3 over the past 15 days. Freddie probably number 1. I mean, got to be top 5.
Yeah, let me
Like, I
pull
don't
that.
know.
Over the last 15, let's see.
He's been on an absolute tear. Ronald Acuna Jr., I will talk about too. 20. I didn't realize he had 24
Steers
bags.
actually ahead of Freeman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Freeman's 8, Steers 3.
Okay. Ronald Acuna Jr., 24 bags already. Like,
yeah, he is far and away the number 1 hitting performer in So Rare, and it's not even close.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1 hitting performer with his 24
he has
bags.
690 So Rare points. And then second place is a tie between Freddie Freeman and Marcus Semien with 626. That's the drop off. So significant.
I had a shot at a Freeman rare at one point that I really wanted to go after. It's probably to the moon now. I think he went on a little bit of a slump. And you guys, when you have pure hitters that are on a little bit of a slump, I mean, just buy them if you're thinking about buying them long term. Like, help me out here, Nate.
I bought Freeman for $50 like 2.5 weeks ago. It could not have been more perfect timing, and now he's like a $90 card again or something. But exactly what you just said. I'm looking at this as a game that I want to play for a while. So a guy like Freddie Freeman, you know that you want one. The time to buy him is when he's slumping, not when he's hot. Buy him low. That's the beauty of this. That it's one of the most significant upgrades from traditional fantasy baseball. Traditional fantasy baseball, there's one guy, he's on a team. If that guy wants him, he's keeping him. If he doesn't want to sell low on it, it's a done deal. Beauty of this is that there's always people looking to sell, panic sell, and there's always people looking to get excited and buy when things are going well. You gotta do the opposite.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, pure hit guys are going to hit the ball. I mean, like, it's probably an amazing time to buy Devers. I haven't seen like what the marketplace looks like on him lately, but I mean, I messaged you in the Discord, like, he just looks silly in this one at bat, and he has not been good lately.
No,
same with Jose Ramirez. I mean, like, those two guys who you had those types of expectations are still young. They are going to hit. They're going to figure it out. When Soto slumps, pick them up if you want to add them long term. There's no better time to buy them. Guys who have incredible zone contact rate, who just hit the ball like Freeman, jump on it.
And the key to Freeman, I mean, he's hitting home runs right now too, but we've talked about this as well, is that he hits so many doubles, and that plays in So Rare. You got to look at doubles just as much as you look at home runs, because if a guy's going to hit 40, 50 doubles in a season, that's gonna play. And Freddie Freeman gets a whole lot of hits.
You're gonna hope that there's runners on base and that those doubles are RBI doubles and they can come through just to kind of fill in those other points for home runs. But you're right. I mean, more doubles, the more doubles, the better. Like, those definitely add up over the course of a game week. No doubt. Especially, I mean, like, in guys that don't strike out too. Like, if they're not Kyle Schwarber up there,
who finally had a day today.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, 2 home runs today.
Oh, he almost had 2 against the Braves too. I mean, like, he hits the ball so hard. He's just batting a 176.
I know. I love watching him.
It's fun.
He's been tough though.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at pitching real quick, and then the perfect segue, I think. Let me see here. Freeman rare went for 283. Yeah, so I was looking at him like under 200, like right at 200 or under 200. Didn't end up buying him. Should have. Let's take a look at pitching stats and then segue right into Ohtani. Your segment on Ohtani. A few minutes. You're going to break down his hitting versus his pitching stats. K through 9 or K per 9 Strider, insane. 14.6. I think that's a record pacing clip of some sort. Like,
it's gotta be. I'm
Yeah,
not sure, but it's got to be.
it's absurd. Um, Also up at the top of that, I guess just rounding out the top 500 green, Otani, Gosman, who's just been Gosman's been incredible. One of the things that I wanted to mention, so rare wise, like that is a lesson learned for me this week, is in a 3-day game week, if you have pitching matchups and you're not super confident in your hitting matchups, like just put a starting pitcher in at flex. Like
Yeah.
I'm kicking myself for not doing it. I could have had Strider and Framber
Hmm.
in there, or one of those, or take one of those out and throw Luis Castillo in there, right? Like, and instead in the flex, I put. I mean, this is my common lineup, so it's not that crazy. But like I put Soler in there, who put up an 11 or something like that. So, um, that
Yeah.
that is a lesson learned that I'll be kind of enacting later on.
It was funny that you put that in the notes for the show because I was having the same thought process, and I did one this week. I think, was it this week or last week? Um, let's see here. That's I put last it was last week. I put McClanahan and Gosman in the same lineup for that same rationale, where it was like I wasn't super confident in the last batter that I was going to put into it in terms of matchups. Not that I didn't have good players, but it just wasn't super strong. And especially in All-Star, AL only, or NL only, where the bar to hitting a tier 3, tier 2 prize, which is what you and I have both talked about, what we focus on, anything after that is a cherry on top. You have a good week that blows up, but trying to hit that tier 3 spot. And if you're looking to do that, you're trying to get 30 to 40 points per slot, right? So 30 times 7 puts you at 210, 40 times 7 puts you at 280. If you fall somewhere in there, you're going to cash. And eliminating a variable by getting a guy that's really likely to get you 25 points with the upside of 35. Now
Yep.
you only need 4 spots to do something kind of out of the ordinary instead of 5. And it's definitely a strategy worth looking at if you're not trying to play just ultimate upside.
Yep. Then you have, I mean, yeah. Then you have one player go 70, right? Like Seager, or
Yep.
then you have or Schwarber or Jordan or somebody go big. I mean, like that could even help you out, like with a -2 dud, like
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jose Ramirez.
Yep.
Like if somebody has a bad week, you're still living and breathing. To fight for that tier 3, and if they all hit, then maybe you're up there at the podium. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. K per 9, 20 guys above 10, looking really nice. Like all these guys are guys who I'd love to have in the collection. I know Gosman has been one of my go-tos. Gore, didn't realize he had such a nice K rate, and he must have come back around because I know he was slumping for a little bit there. Hunter Brown has been one of my go-tos for commons. Wins. Who leads the league in wins right now? Evaldi. I just made a trade for an Evaldi. Probably picked up another one today already if he hasn't, or if the game's not over yet.
I was really close to grabbing him for like $5 a month or so ago, and I didn't do it. And I'm kicking myself now.
Yeah, I traded a rare Pavetta for him. For
That
a
worked
limited.
out.
For a
That worked
limited.
out.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Some good guys on here, and we love talking streaming pitchers here. Like that's one of my favorite things to do. So, it's good to see some names that we've given out on as our giveaways. Kramer was one of the guys that I was thinking of this week, and he's still down at like $3. I mean, look at his stats for the year. He's got 6 wins, 2 losses, 65 innings pitched, and 54 strikeouts. Not bad. John Gray is also one of our guys. Martin Perez is one of our guys. Kyle Gibson up there too, 7 wins. So stability is nice sometimes. You know what I mean? All right. Should we talk game week 20?
You want to do the Otani thing quick?
Yeah, let's do it. Otani.
So I just plugged in the stats across, his hitting stats and his pitching stats, and just multiplied it times the Sorare points, because when you plug it all into ESPN, you kind of just get one big number. So he has scored the most points of any card, obviously. at 859.5.
That's absurd.
But when you actually break it out by, hitting versus pitching, 540 of those points goes to hitting and 319.5 goes to pitching. And when you put that in the actual standings across those two things, why don't you take a guess? Where do you think he ranks for all pitchers, starting pitchers and relievers? And where do you think he ranks with hitting with these two numbers across the whole season?
His stat line, he's got 10 homers. No, sorry, he's got 15 homers.
Yeah, 15 home runs, 40 RBIs.
40 RBIs.
Yep.
I think at 540, you can chalk him up for a 12th, and then
11th. Nice.
And then pitching with 96 strikeouts already. 26 earned runs, innings pitched, 319, 8th.
32nd.
Ooh.
32nd overall pitcher.
Ooh.
So he's been a much better hitter for Sorare. He's the 11th overall hitter. This is stats as of this morning before today's games got played, but he's right between Adolis Garcia with 541, and then it drops off all the way down to 520 for Goldschmidt at 12th overall. But then at pitching, he's sandwiched between Logan Webb and Clay Holmes at 320.5 and 318.
Clay Holmes.
Much more efficient hitter for Sorare format so far. But also, the reason that I broke this down is because a couple weeks ago we talked about how Ohtani is overvalued, and I don't think we fully explained, maybe we did, but he's obviously a great card. It's lost.
Sorry.
super useful card to have. It has extra utility, it has extra flexibility, but in terms of spending your money that is not unlimited, you go spend it on, split that in half, get a guy that you can hit every week, a guy that you can pitch every week, and it's just, your money's going to go a lot further because he's just not quite pulling it off as exciting as a card as it is.
I think that's perfect to kind of go in and just do a really quick look at the marketplace, just so this, like, we tie it all together and look at Ohtani and look at Logan Webb. Logan Webb's $12, and he's one of the most dependable, like, starters. I could just be saying that I'm a Giants fan, but, like, he's just awesome. I love throwing him up. Like, talk about a guy 25 to 35, like, stability. He's a horse. 218 for Ohtani. And Logan Webb. Who are the guys that you said hitting wise? Adolis and 13 for Webb. And then who are the guys right around 540 for hitting?
Adolis Garcia, and then Goldschmidt was at 12th overall at 520.
What's he? $25, 30? Yeah, 25, probably 33.
Yep.
Yeah. So $45 compared to 218, and you can play them at the same time.
Yep. And even if you want to go, like, more exaggerated and get the best possible hitter that you can in Ronald Acuna, who has scored over 100 points more, I think 150 points more than Ohtani, and he's still $70 cheaper.
150. And who's the number one pitcher?
Number one pitcher, I believe, is Strider.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be expensive. Strider, yeah.
But, like, you could still buy Acuna and have $70 left over to go buy 3 really good pitchers. So there's no point in buying Ohtani unless you have unlimited funds. There's just no point in buying him.
100%. Yeah. And unless you're out there playing with Monopoly money and you hit the ETH Lotto, which is fine. Play Ohtani. Ohtani's awesome. I would love it.
If you're just like collecting the whole set, I get it. Everybody's doing different things. I'm not saying don't get that card. I'm just saying if you're playing with a budget, he's not it.
Right. Love that. Let's take a look into game week 20. What do you think?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Awesome. Game week 19, I mean, just real quick, the top 5 guys. Bassett had a good game. Cabrera, Alex Cobb in there. I just love streaming the pitchers, man. I mean, like there are so many good options under $5 out there, you guys. Relief pitchers are so tricky. I'm working on. I mean, like Justin Lawrence, fourth on the week. This guy is a $2 card,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna get some opportunity too. Corner infielder, yeah, Schwarber up at the top, nice. Yeah, you're gonna see new names in there. I mean, that's the fun part about So Rare. Let's take a look, I guess, into the MLB schedule for the upcoming week. Let's see here. So 4 games on the schedule. We got teams like, let me know if I missed any. Tampa Bay, they got 1 versus the Sox and 3 versus the Twins. The Cubs have 1 in San Diego and 3 versus the Angels. Boston has Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Milwaukee has Cincinnati and Baltimore. Cincinnati has Milwaukee and the LA Dodgers. Any other ones that you picked up that I missed?
Here we go. Sorry, you were just going through everybody that has 4 games.
Yeah.
I've got Boston, Chicago, Cincinnati, Houston, Milwaukee, Tampa, and Toronto.
I missed Houston. Okay.
Yeah, the Houston at Toronto is kind of an intriguing stack because neither one is a great hitting matchup. Obviously, they both have really good pitching, but since they've got the 4 games and they each have really good players, really good offenses, you're doing something that probably a lot of people aren't doing, and you're also fading the other side of it, which there's going to be people playing some of those studs. So it's an intriguing one. It's a little bit off the beaten path in terms of stacks, but it's a cool matchup and a series that could have some high scoring.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at Manoah, he's susceptible to a lot of things this year for sure. Yep. And then just, guys like Bichette and Vladdy can hit anybody. I mean, that whole lineup is insane. So you never know. When you got Bielik, you got Hunter Brown, who's looked incredible, but has had a blow up here or there. Nothing too big by any means, but there's that. Renel Blanco, never even heard of him. Maybe making who is this guy?
I don't even know.
Yeah, he's a reliever that they're bringing in. If that's something you want to keep your eye on, like maybe he's got a reliever card out there that you can start in that pitcher. Like that's something that we're always keeping eyes on. I know Weaver has had a couple of good starts for Cincinnati, and he's got reliever cards out there for $2. So been on that. And let me see here. What's the last one for? Oh, yeah, Renel Blanco and Bassett. And Bassett had an awesome game against the Mets. Just his old team. You love to see that happen. What else do we got? The last one would be, Framber and Barrios. Barrios has looked really good. Same with Framber. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be playing that stack this week. A couple of the ones that I really liked, the Giants will be in Colorado for 3 games.
Yep.
The Dodgers at Cincinnati.
Yep.
Yankees versus the White Sox at home. And Texas, St. Louis. I mean, the last 2 are just kind of, but still, I mean.
Yeah, Texas, St. Louis, I like both sides of that as like a slightly better version of what I was just saying with Houston and Toronto. There's always going to be the obvious stuff, like focus on Cincinnati, focus on Oakland, focus on Colorado, especially at Colorado. So always have to be aware of those, but finding some of those in-betweens. And, we were talking about stacks earlier. Some offenses are just pitcher proof. It doesn't really matter. And if they're going to get to a guy, everybody has a bad day. They knock that stud starter out in the 3rd inning. All of a sudden it's a bullpen game. And then that stretches the whole series if that happens in game 1. So it can have a huge impact. So I like Texas there as well. The Cubs at Atlanta, they've got a 4-game week. Or sorry, not at Atlanta, at the Angels. That's plus 1 extra game.
Yeah.
Boston's got a breakout at some point. They've got 4 games. So it just kind of looking at some of the different option. Arizona, we talked about Arizona's offense has been great. They're playing Washington, which doesn't have the best pitching. So just a handful of different stuff. And then definitely be aware that Seattle at San Diego is only a 2-game series, so you probably want to fade those two teams as well.
There we go. Yep. My Seattle, I do have a Seattle stack that I'm waiting to heat up at some point this season. You figure it will. You got Gino. I mean, like, and that's another one too. I mean, like, look, if you're building for the long term, like, it wouldn't hurt to have a Seattle stack when when they play the A's or
Yeah.
when it matches up right?
Yep.
Like, guys hit home runs. Teoscar, Gino, they're built for Sorare MLB scoring. That whole entire squad, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Kellenic, France, like, they're gonna have some crazy games.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like what you said about Chicago too. I mean, they've got Reed Detmers, Jamie Barria, and then Tyler Anderson. Let me see here. We got some questions in the chat. Let's pull them up. Ian Giovanni Gallegos, only a $1.80, like that. Thoughts on all rare cards for NL NAL lineups starting game week 2023? Are they going to reduce the amount of rewards? We kind of mentioned that a little bit up front. I don't know. What do you think about it? Just like, are you thumbs up or thumbs down on that?
I've been thinking about it. As somebody that's only been playing in limited so far, it didn't impact me enough to have like a knee-jerk reaction to it in any way. So it kind of just depends on, what the demographics are with this user base and what they're seeing in terms of, are they seeing the free contest players convert into limited? Are they seeing people come into rare? Because if you're playing rare, you probably like this because it means that your rare cards just became more valuable and you can't have people coming in with their limited cards participating in 3 out of those 4 contests. If you're someone like me who is playing a lot of limited and definitely intends to move up into that rare tier at some point, I'm already thinking about, do I want to get 5 rare bats just to be able to put, and now with this, it makes me hesitate and just kind of want to stay in my lane on limited because that's where the strength is based on what that lineup design is at this point. So I think that it definitely will make someone like me hesitate to go up to that division too soon. But like I said, it's good for people that are already at that spot. So I think it just depends on what SoRare's objectives are and what they're seeing with growth in the user base.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I tend to trust them so far at this point. Like, there's no, like, you could take the extreme on either side of it, right? Like, it's a bad thing or it's a really good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's right down the middle for me, like, as somebody who plays in rare and limited competitions. I think one of the benefits is that, like, now I'll just be able to know that my limited lineups are going to be that much stronger because I'm not worried about stacking, not stacking, but moving limited cards into my rare NL and AL. And the decision is just a little bit easier to make. Granted that I don't have a huge gallery in rare.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be more so and I always try to go for, my strongest lineup possible. But sometimes that's not, like, depending on the matchup, sometimes that's not, like, clear black and white. Like, I could always put a good lineup together for limited pro if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I would kind of, like, given all things equal, I would try to score higher, probably in rare all-star before I did the limited pro, just because I wanted a better shot at a rare yield. So now that levels it out.
And to your point there, which is something that Clamp said when he joined us, is that it's going to be a little bit easier to win the higher the rarity you go to because there's just less lineups. There's less variance. There's less of each star. So if you do the right thing, it's more likely to hit. And that's a reason too.
For sure. Yeah. So great question, Lincoln. Like, let us know your thoughts on that, like, by commenting on this video here. But I think it could go either way. It's going to be interesting. Like you said, like, what are SoRare's goals, right? Are they going to see more people make that jump from limited to rare because of this?
Mm-hmm.
Are there going to be more rare buys because of this? Or on the opposite hand, is it going to make the limiteds even tougher to yield, and then people drop out of playing limiteds at that point as much as they were in the past? Or are they going to, buy more limiteds to get more competitive? You know,
That's a good point, because that's a lot of limited cards that are about to come back down exclusively into the limited contest, that someone like yourself may have been prioritizing putting those up in a rare contest, and then we're not having to compete with those better cards down in limited. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we feel a material shift in what that experience is with each contest.
yeah, I mean, we got a couple weeks left, so if you're going after those rares, I mean, I know for the next couple weeks, I'm going to be going after, this. I mean, I always kind of take it the same way, just where the strongest matchups are. I try to put together the best lineups up at the top and then fill in from there.
Yep, me too.
But it'll be cool to take a look at the next, handful of weeks, knowing that it's the last chance to yield in those rare competitions with limited cards. So we'll see. Let me see here. So we're getting closer to doing the giveaway. You guys have a ton of people in the chat. We had one recommendation at Braxton Garrett. We're looking for a pitching arm under $5. Dean Kramer is going this week. I like that one. He's in Milwaukee, Hitters Park, but he's looked really good, even against lineups like Toronto. He had a good game against my Giants. And the Giants bats have been pretty good. Throw some more suggestions down in the chat. I think Giovanni Gallegos might have been one of the the options too. So here, do you guys think they would potentially increase rewards because of the chance of increased limited lineups? I don't think that they would increase the rewards. I would hope that they keep them the same. But I don't know.
I think that we haven't seen really any type of significant bump in limited entries. And I don't know if you've seen it in rare, but like the reality is that most weeks we're sitting somewhere between 2,100 and 2,400 on limited pro.
Yep.
On limited all-star, we're pushing 3,000 almost every week. It's usually right around 2,900. So I would think that the prizes are going to pretty much remain the same. We're not, we are seeing an increase in the common entries, which I think at this point has to be more than just people having enough to enter both, because that happened a while ago. So it does seem like the marketing is pulling in people to come take a look and at least dabble in the free to play. But I'm not seeing enough movement in terms of entries on the paid contest to warrant any movement in either direction when it comes to prizes. But that's strictly my observation.
I'm right there with you too. I would hope that they keep the prizes the same and maybe adjust according to what they find out in about a month or two from now. So
Although the one thing that has changed obviously is the Sandlot competition, which nobody can, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but can you click on it and see results? It doesn't work, right?
Not on the app, but on the desktop you can.
I can't get it on the desktop either.
Yeah, mine is right here, and this is obviously like a throwaway competition right now, but
when you click that, it bugs out, right? Click it.
I don't know. I never tried that. No.
Huh.
That's good. Yeah, the app, it doesn't even show up on the app.
Yeah, it doesn't show up on the app, and I can't even do what you just did. It just bugs out and gives me a blank screen. So I won $1 in this last week, and I have no idea how or what. I thought that the threshold was like top 10 or something, and I came in 100 something, and I won $1. So I don't really understand what happened there. What is,
shout out Crypto Poppy, second place.
Yeah, nice.
Let's go.
How many how many spots does this pay? Scroll down there.
200.
All the way up to, okay, I didn't realize that. Was that like that from the beginning?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't put much thought into it.
Well, I won my first Sandlot buck. We'll take it.
There we go. Congrats. Nice finish. Perfect. Let's that was a good chat. I'm on game week 20. Let me see here. Streamers. Yeah. Let's go into game week 21. What do you think?
Yeah, so this one, not quite as many interesting matchups, just in terms of, what those hitting matchups were. But some of the obvious things that we always look at: Milwaukee versus Oakland. Okay. Oakland's got the worst team ERA. St. Louis versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's the fourth worst ERA. Baltimore versus Kansas City, third worst ERA. Atlanta versus Washington is probably the most intriguing stack, or San Diego at Colorado. Both strong, I mean, San Diego, you obviously have to put the asterisk next to it. They're underperforming, but any given game, it can be there, and it's at Colorado. You got to like that. And then the last one, I just had Texas at Tampa Bay, because you just can't look away from Texas right now. If it's not a horrible matchup, it's probably worth playing.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of streamers. I mean, like, who we got? I mean, Lorenzen's looked all right. But versus Arizona, don't know if I like that. It is in Detroit, which is a pitcher's park. Tyler Wells at home versus Kansas City. He should bounce back. I think we banged him up a little bit. The Giants banged him up a little bit this weekend, but other than that, he's looked really good for Baltimore. Kikuchi's been rough. Let me see here. McKenzie Gore in Atlanta. You're probably going to want to fade that. Yeah. Let me see. Castillo, Shohei. That's going to be a fun pitching matchup on a Friday night. Luis Castillo, Otani. Anything else here? Let me see. Yeah, nothing super intriguing. I don't know if I like the Padres. I don't know if I'm on them yet. Bogarts is going to have to hit the bench. He's going to be in the sandlot.
It's rough. But if there was a time for them to break out, it'd be at Colorado.
There we go. Yeah. Let me see here. All right. Oh, Greg, what's going on, Greg?
I love offense.
Let's go, Greg.
Yeah,
Greg pops in.
If anybody just saw me cracking up, I was cracking up from Greg's comment here.
Oh, let's go. I didn't see that. Drop in Dunbar. Drop in your pick for the week. You got the Yanks or you got the Dodgers? He's probably headed there right now. He probably won't make it to the 5th inning, and he'll have to leave in the 6th. But let me see here. Giolito. Perfect Chicken says Giolito. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Stick with the guns, Dean Kramer?
Yeah, I like it.
All right, let's do it.
You're the expert here. I take a simpler approach to pitching. I like streams, but at this point, I got my Gosman, I got my McClanahan, I got my Valdez. There's not a whole lot of thinking going on there.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, and look, I will say this for the chat purposes, right? Like, because I'm giving away this in a stream, it's not my recommendation to play immediately, right? Like, keep in mind, these are under $5 for a reason.
Right.
Right. Like, So when you get, who did we do? Cal Quantrill, who's injured now. Like, I like Cal because he goes deep into games. Maybe he had some injury stuff, but he got rocked like the week after we gave him away. Right. And I think he's going to have better starts than not. But again, like, you can have an ace pitcher get blown up anyway. So, I mean, less than $5, you're really high risk, high reward on these. I do like playing them, especially in those, like, limited ALs. And again, some of them turn into really solid guys that you have. Like, John Gray was a streamer for me. I mean, who's been really Josiah Gray's been solid. There's been solid guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, he just got hurt, of course, but Chris Sale I got for like $7.50 or $8, and all of a sudden he was vintage Chris Sale, getting you 30 plus points. So sometimes it works out, but mostly you got to play them based on matchups.
Yeah. Let's do it then. I'll stick with the guns. We didn't get double ups on anybody, so I'll stick with the guns. Let's go hashtag Dean in the chat, hashtag DEAN, and then we'll run that as a giveaway. We're doing are we doing a candy segment? Should we punch it to next week? What are you thinking?
So we would have talked about the rookie drop, but it got pushed a second time, unfortunately. So That was set to drop on Wednesday or Thursday. I think I forget. It was supposed to drop midweek last week and got pushed for the second time. There's something technical with the icons themselves, that one last bug that they needed to work through. So hoping to get new information on that tomorrow in terms of when that's going to drop, and planning on doing a decent number of breaks on with Talking Candy breaks, and we've got almost 3 of those filled already. So really, the product looks really cool, and looking forward to seeing that and ripping some of those, but unfortunately delayed twice now.
Okay. We'll plan on doing a Candy segment next week. And, again, shout out to Candy for the last time we were on stream here, for handing out those team packs. If Investor Better is out there, I still haven't gotten a DM. So I've given away 4 of the 5, but Investor Better actually won live on stream. So if you're in the chat right now, we'll hang on to that. Make sure to DM me and we'll get you over that team pack of your choice. The other 4 did hit me up. So hashtag Dean in the chats. Borland. Okay, there we go. You corrected it to Dean. You had Bean at first. We got 13 entries with 17 of you out there. So if you haven't done it, take another 30 seconds to drop it in the chat. And Greg looks like he's taking the Yankees. Nate, who are you going with? Or no, sorry.
Going,
opposite.
Which I'm on the same contract, so not the Yankees.
Not the Yankees. This is tempting. It's Bobby Miller, and who's going up against them? Bobby Miller, I know, is on the hill for the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's the only one I can remember as well.
I mean,
all I remembered is it was Bobby Miller and that I hate the Yankees. That's all I could recall.
I mean, you're going to do it to me. I think I'm contractually obligated too. I don't think we'll ever, unless the Yankees are playing the Dodgers again ever, we'll never have the chance to do this. But give me the Yankees.
It's Domingo Germán.
Okay, there we go. Domingo Germán. Dude, I wish I had my Yankee hat. Where'd it go?
Go Dodgers.
No Judge. Interesting. Let me see. All right, cool. Perfect. Let's run this giveaway and get out of here for some Sunday Night Baseball. What do you think?
I like it. I need Freddie Freeman in a big way. I'm sitting on the bubble for a tier 5 and limited pro with Freeman to go, and I need a night out of him.
There we go. Oh, Hud's dog right at the end. Last entry.
Sneaking it in.
Sneaky. All right. Here we go. 1 winner. Hashtag Dean. Let's do 2 winners. I want to pull one in from the chat too. So I'll do the Gallegos for 182. Eric, congratulations.
Congrats.
Dean Kramer, shoot me a DM here. We'll get that over to you. And then on whose recommendation was it for Gallegos? We'll throw a reliever in there also. Forget Ian Van Winkle. Let's do another drawing. So 2 winners out of this group today. Let's see who we got. Oh, if it was Ian who suggested it, Hud's dog.
Hey, let's go.
Congrats. Big time congrats. Let's go. Good stuff, guys. Well, you got anything else?
While we've been talking, my limited national squad has jumped up to 19th place, so I'm looking at a tier 2 there. Hopefully I'll hold on with a little bit of baseball left. So this one just popped up.
Oh baby, yeah, lots of bats tonight, but national.
Yeah. Two home runs from Schwarber today. Marte homered. Walker getting a few points, so nice jump there. And then a couple other bubble limited all-star looking pretty decent. Olsen a little bit more, so should have some nice limited rewards coming in tomorrow.
Okay. There we go. Congrats to everybody. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you all for being here. Let's get back to it next week. Good luck in game weeks 20, game weeks 21. Drop us a follow. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. All of our links on Twitter are in the description of this video. Come hang out with us in the Discord during the week. It's been super fun in there, super active. Appreciate you all being here, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Peace.